It's really important for me to let people know that recovery is possible because I know that they're told that it's not, and it's just so not true. And when I'm passionate about things, I am the type of person that wants like the megaphone. This is something that you have to really believe. And I know it's so much easier to take pain medication or just swallow this pill and you want that instant relief. But sometimes you got to just keep walking down that longer path to get to this amazing end result.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the CFS Health Recovery Podcast. I am the founder, Toby Morrison, and in today's episode, we have an incredible recovery success story from Lauren Giammarco in USA. And this is a really special interview because Lauren joined us when she was in total despair. She'd just been diagnosed from a doctor. The doctor said there was nothing you can do. And so Lauren took recovery into her own hands. This interview is about her journey from when she first got diagnosed to where she's at now, which I can tell you is pretty damn cool. Think hiking, think writing a book, think working full time, think doing really cool things. You're going to be blown away and you're going to learn some really key tips and strategies that she implemented in her recovery. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hey guys, it's Toby Morrison from CFS Health, and on the other end I've got Lauren Giammarco from New York. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for coming on. I was just saying before how important this is for anyone who's going through chronic illness, chronic fatigue syndrome, to see this video and stumble across it, because your story is so inspiring. And I often talk about you, and I'm so thrilled that you jumped on an interview with us, because it was a year and a half ago that you joined our program, and a little bit longer when we had a conversation with you about where you're at and kind of what you needed help with and where you wanted to go. And I know for a fact that a year and a half ago, you probably would never have dreamt to be where you're at right now.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and you've just written a book, and we're going to talk about that as well, about your journey, which is so exciting. And I think that's just going to be brilliant. And I always say to people, our mission at CFS Health is to really create a ripple effect in the world. And by helping you help yourself, you're now helping other people. You're becoming a leader, and you're inspiring people just through being you, which is just super special. So, Lauren, first of all, how old were you when you were diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome?
When I was diagnosed, I had just turned 42.
Wow. Yeah.
And I would say that I had faint symptoms of it for, when I think back now, probably like 15 years, maybe.
Wow.
20 years. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And was the diagnosis process easy for you? Did you find someone that could diagnose you fast, or was it something that was just like you had to see 100 doctors kind of thing? This is like a pretty similar story that most people go through.
Yeah, I saw a lot of doctors. Initially, they just kept giving me antibiotics, telling me that I had strep throat. I heard that it's flu season and you're going through some stressful things in your life right now. So your immune system, that's why you're tired. Really no information beyond just take this medication, and then if you still don't feel good in a month, just do another round of antibiotics.
Yeah. Really good for your gut health.
Yeah, just terrible. I think it was the third or fourth doctor that I went to see that said this could possibly be chronic fatigue. And then I went to see a naturopathic doctor and functional medicine doctor, and then they confirmed that that's what it was.
Okay. Yeah. I went through the same thing, actually. A couple of years of just antibiotics. It was like Groundhog Day every month, wasn't it? You go in and you're so hopeless and just want an answer, and there's just no hope. So
Yeah.
How did you stumble across CFS Health? Was it soon after the diagnosis, or yeah?
I had an instinct from doing my own research that it was chronic fatigue syndrome. And I think when I was told that that's what it was, I immediately started Googling recovery stories
Yeah.
because I didn't want the doom and gloom. I was being told by my primary care doctor that it was something I would have for the rest of my life, which I refused to believe. So the first thing I did was just Google recovery stories, and I came across you on YouTube. And then that's how I found out about the program. And then I just reached out. I just got this vibe from you that you were so genuine about it and you had experienced it yourself. And I just felt this sense of support from you before even joining the program. It was just all instinct.
Wow. When you found us, how long did you wait until you reached out? It was pretty quick, wasn't it? It was like a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, I would say within a week.
You're a very driven person. And so I'm not surprised that the first thing you did was, rather than researching the illness, you were like researching success. What does success look like? It's just who you are, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they take years to join our program, or they take years to get any kind of help. They hesitate and they basically don't know what to do, but they stay in analyst paralysis, over analyzing and just not making a decision and doing it now, basically. And I remember our call, because every single member has an initial call with us. And you were just like, I just want to start getting healthy. And at that time, you were struggling quite a lot. What were some of the things that you were struggling with?
Oh boy, at that time I was exhausted, like that wired but tired. So unable to sleep through the night, but so physically exhausted.
Mm,
When I would sleep, it would be for sometimes 16 to 18 hours.
yeah.
I was working still, but at that point, I had told my employer that I needed to work from home. So I wasn't able to go into the office. I wasn't able to make my bed, cook for myself. There was stairs in the house I was living in, had trouble walking up the stairs. I
Mm,
needed my parents to help me with just basic chores. I was operating probably at about 20-25%.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a two out of 10 kind of feeling, 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. When I think back, yeah.
Yeah, you were, and everyone fills out a form just so we can see where each individual's at before they start.
Yeah.
And I think I remember yours was like a 2.5 or 3 out of 10 at the time, which was probably about right. Some people get it wrong. They think they're better than they are. They think they're a 6, but they're still at home and they don't do anything. Before you joined the program, you knew that you weren't going to give up. You were like, I'm not believing just that doctor's one opinion, because we see this all the time. Was there any other crazy things that was said to you? Like, we've heard some ridiculous ones in the past.
I was told to get my tonsils taken out, and then I wouldn't get the tonsil infections anymore.
Mm.
But they didn't realize that I was just having this heightened immune response for a host of other reasons. I'm glad I didn't do that. What else? I think the biggest thing was being told you're going to have this for the rest of your life and you're not going to get better. And here's some pain medication. That was the craziest thing. There was no, are you hydrating? What's your stress level? Are you working on your sleep? There was no questions around wellness or well-being. It was just the symptoms were being looked at and nothing beyond that, which every time I talk about this, it like blows my mind. What I knew now, I just wish I knew then, but I'm glad I listened to my instincts, because I knew that what I was being told was wrong.
I'm so glad you knew that, though. When you're feeling so low and flat, and then most people kind of look to doctors for all the answers, and some of them are brilliant. It's not to mock doctors in general. We have Dr. Olivia in our program. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's stop focusing on symptoms and start focusing on wellness.
Yeah.
And everything changes. And I remember our call, and I said to you, because you're like, your sleep was all over the place. It's huge swings between either sleeping heaps or just total insomnia. And I was like, well, that's okay. We can fix that. It's just going to take a bit of time to implement it. And once we get you a good routine structure and figure out your baseline and start moving forwards, you're going to do a hell of a lot better. What was it like when you joined the program? Because you were just all in straight away. There was no hesitation. I remember you just joined up straight away. What was it like when you entered the program?
So I didn't realize that the journey that it took me on it completely changed my life. So there's the physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to sleep and go slow. And you were encouraging us to actually move, not just lie down all day, but kind of listen to our body and all
Yeah,
of these things.
exactly. You got to find the right amount. You can't do too much, but you definitely can't do too little. And so that's why
Right.
that baseline brings you back to the core, the center of what's right for you. Yeah, continue. This is good. This is great.
Yeah. So once that baseline information clicked in terms of the physical aspects of recovery, I'll admit it took me a bit, but once I got that, that's when I started to see improvement. But then there was this other piece of it, which is the mind and body connection. So all of the work that we do with Gemma and even with you, it was like opening up Pandora's box. It was all these things that I started to realize about myself, like the limiting beliefs and even the belief that I had for years, thinking that I'm not a healthy person and I'm just not like everyone else. And
Mm,
if I go on a trip, I'm going to have to sleep and I'm probably going to get sick because that's just me. All these beliefs I had about myself that I had to untangle and work through and figure out the root cause. Like I said, it was the most profound journey to go on, but the most important one, I think, that you can go on in your life because it's your health.
yeah. Oh man, it's so funny, and you'll totally get this. You hit the nail on the head. So many people, when they join our program, they're like, "Yeah, I just need help with nutrition and movement, or it's just my diet, or it's just my sleep." And it's so funny because when they enter the program, they're like, "There is so much more to recovery. It's not just like this black and white 5 steps and off you go." And that's why I always say holistic approach, because it's different for everyone. And some people don't need those big breakthroughs because their life is kind of sorted on that level. But a lot of people, I'd say almost 90% of them, that kind of got you here in the first place. So you need to
Yeah,
unbecome all that got you there in the first place.
that's right.
And
Yeah. And
yeah,
have compassion for yourself at the same time. I'm just very passionate when I talk about this because I truly believe that if I hadn't listened to my instinct, things could be different for me right now. But I had the willingness to be open to it.
mm, you kind of went on that journey. You got the baseline right. It took a little while to get right, which it does. It's not an overnight thing, but once it finally clicks and you basically started to live life again. And I remember
Yeah.
vividly, I've got a really good memory of everyone, but there was a moment, and I don't know when it was, it might have been like 5 to 6 months in, where you stopped asking those kind of limited questions of, oh, but what if I do this? And you knew the answers within yourself. You fully understood your body and you got to the point of being so in tune and knowing what was right for
Yeah.
you, which gave you the confidence to step forwards and start living again.
Yeah.
And so you started to ease into work again. You started
Yeah.
to pick the right hours. You started to maintain your good sleep quality.
Yeah.
Nutrition was on point. It wasn't even a thing that you need to focus on anymore. And then that's when I
Yeah.
feel like you had the time and space to explore things that were coming up for you that were in the way, whether it was a relationship, work. We had lots of coaching sessions on work stuff, stress levels, and values, which is what it really comes down to is,
Yeah.
well, what was important to me back then necessarily isn't important to me now. And I feel like you had a huge value shift and you started to kind of go towards that. How did that feel when it finally clicked for you? Because you started going on hikes again, you started going to the beach. You used to put photos up in the group almost every week of a beautiful hike that you went on or a picturesque kind of thing. What was it like when you finally got it?
I guess I just felt free.
Mm,
It was a whole different level of confidence. And another thing too was in the beginning, initially, there was too much worry around everything I was doing. If I had a good day and I went grocery shopping, like I would worry that something was going to happen. But once I slowly started to get better and release that and stop focusing on symptoms, it felt like a new lease on life, I guess, really.
You watched that video in the modules, health focused versus symptom focused.
Yeah, it was a big one for me.
It's a big one for everyone. Like I get everyone now, the first month of starting the program, they have to go through that module because it's just so important. And people notice a difference fast when they shift that. One keeps you managing something and one keeps you actually up leveling something and expanding something and improving something. And that's just exactly what you went and did, which is just so cool. So just to make it really simple for the guys listening, on a practical side of things, what did you focus on and improve? So you said quality sleep, getting routine and structure right. Just list a few of them off by heart.
Yeah, so sleep was number one because the wonderful Dr. Olivia taught me about why we sleep. And that was a big one for me. So I got my sleep in order. And to this day, it's like my number one, 8 to 9 hours a night, no matter what. Nutrition, I did work with a naturopath to figure out some gut issues that I had going on for decades. So nutrition was a big one for me, hydration. And then lastly, making sure that the decisions that I was making are in line with my values. Is this adding to my life? Is this taking away from my life?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me too was not being afraid to advocate for myself and telling people what I needed, telling my work I need to stay home. Yeah, that was a big one.
Huge one. And you owned it as well. And this is what people don't realize. We have a whole module on boundaries. We have a whole program on values. Like it's not just one thing, and letting go of guilt was another one. I remember that moment for you as well, when you fully just let go and you just started owning yourself more, and you made decisions and felt good about them.
Yeah.
Or at least you didn't feel bad about them. You don't have to feel necessarily great about them, but you're like, no, I'm going to work from home 3 days a week and I'm going to work 4 hours a day for now. And that's it. And it was fun. And you built up. What are the two things that you do in business? I know one of them that you're really passionate about. Let everyone know.
Yeah, so that's my business, Mindful Spaces. So I help people declutter, get organized, and then incorporate some feng shui elements into their home too. And I've been actively doing that over the last few months. And yeah, I'm so happy to be able to do that again. Just the physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because I could be in someone's home for 6 or 7 hours organizing a closet or whatever I'm doing. And there's also just the passion I have for it, the way that we feel and the spaces that we live.
Yeah. I was just going to say to you, how important is environment, do you think?
It's very important. I'll be honest, when I was getting better, I lived alone and I created like this little sanctuary for myself to be able to heal. And I was privileged in the sense that my parents lived very close by and they were able to come over and help me cook my meals and help me clean. But I did live independently. It was great. And if you're in a situation where you do have people around you, I think it's important to set boundaries with them, to let them know what you need for your wellness and your well-being so that you can take care of yourself and get better. And especially in the bedroom, the more clutter you have around you, it interrupts your sleep for sure.
We might get you on for a full hour interview, just a workshop for environment and home design, because you're so good. We spoke a while ago when I was in my office and I said, hey, is it okay to have my plants here? And you gave me all these tips and I was like, wow, it makes a lot of sense. So I'd love to get you on for a workshop for all our members on that. So we are definitely doing that because I'm a massive believer in that too.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah. And can we talk about some of the wins that you had? Like we were just talking off air before and going back, I know one of your biggest wins, and I remember now, you had your first client that you had in ages to get back into this work. And you were like, this is a lot. I think it was 2 days, over 2 days or 1 day, but it was a big day and it was a physical day and you were doing a lot, but you shared it in the group as a big win and you had your nutrition sorted. And it was a big step for you to kind of know that this is what you're actually capable of doing. Even though it was hard, it was new, but it was doable. And so what were some of the wins you mentioned before early on? It was like, one of my wins was that I could cook a meal for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, cook a meal for myself. That was such a big win for me when it happened. And like being able to shower without taking a nap. I even remember the first day that I blow dried my hair and straightened it, and I wasn't exhausted. It was like so exciting. And then when I did have that client, so that was in December. I decorated her home for the holidays because I do some decorating, and she had reached out to me. And at that time, I was still hesitant if I could do it, but I was like, you know what? This is going to be fine. I'm going to be in my element. I'm going to be happy. And I went there for the day and decorated. It was amazing. So I think when you take the focus away from the symptoms, if you're in that place where you are starting to get better and you put yourself in those situations where you are doing something that you love, whether it's hiking or drawing or writing or whatever it is, it's sending messages to the brain like more of this, and you just feel good.
And you did it appropriately, like you built up. This is what a lot of people are having the missing link. They don't have the right structure and the right baseline to appropriately just do what they need to do. And you did it, and you built the capacity in your body to do more. And then you also just retrained your brain to get back into things that you love, and also honor yourself throughout that process too. So it's been pretty incredible to watch, to be honest. And then you entered into our up level program, which is lifestyle integration. And then we stopped talking about recovery.
Yeah.
You go from recovery focus, which is very important. And there's a time and place for that. And that might last for 6 to 12 months, sometimes even a little bit longer. And then there's a point where you're doing pretty well. Everything's integrated. You know what you're doing. And then it's like, all right, time to integrate back into life. What do I want my life to look like? What do I value? What's important to me? How long were you with us all up? Was it over a year?
It was over a year. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were in integration for a fair while. And I remember some of the coaching calls on those, and it was just epic because we spoke about work. We spoke about you're a different person than you were before you got sick.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that you spoke about was, well, how do I deal with people that are not in alignment with me anymore? We had a great conversation around that. And we spoke about basically you becoming a leader, not trying to change them or not even trying to oppose them, but you coming in as a leader and actually showing them a new way of enrollment, a new way of helping people.
It's busy. I'm coming into like over 100 emails a day. So the mental piece of it is a lot. And then being able to, in those moments, not be reactive and stay true to who I am and be confident in that. And I remember there was another story that you told me, because a lot of times people are trying to change the personalities of other people. And you had said, you know what, maybe that's just the way the person is. And you just have to kind of accept that instead of being so offended by everything all the time. And even that stuck with me too, because I deal with multiple types of personalities. And when I was prior to my recovery, I would just be exhausted, I think, by my own reactions to things, which I know didn't help my health. I know who I am. I accept who you are. Let's just move on.
Let's do life. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, no, it was a big thing for you. And I know a lot of the other members got a lot of value from that coaching call because they never thought about it like that. They never saw it as, wow, I can change this by just showing up as me and doing it my way. And maybe I'll even inspire other people and turn some heads and go, wow, that lady's doing it differently. That seems like she's enjoying it more too. Maybe I'll take a leaf out of the book. And they always say that the best way to teach someone is to do it yourself, just to lead the way.
I feel safe in my body to be able to do that. That was another big thing for me. It was like the safety piece, like nothing's going to go wrong. Everything's okay. I won't be tired. If I stand up for myself in this situation, I won't be exhausted after. You build like that safety, I guess, a form of brain retraining, rewiring when you go through that.
Yeah, reassuring yourself as well. And I think you noticed that the more you spoke up for yourself, the more energized you felt, or at least the more relaxed you felt, which creates energy too. Where are you at now? What's going on? Are you in a new relationship? And that happened really spontaneously. It seems like life is just happening for you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I believe in when our heart's in the right place, when our mind's in the right place, what's for us, I think, shows up.
Mm,
So yeah, definitely good, solid, healthy, non-toxic relationship, which feels amazing.
mm.
And I am doing my business part-time, and that's fine, working full-time and writing.
Yes, yes. Let's talk about the book. So, what's the book called?
So the book is called The Unbecoming, and it is my journey, which I like to say, just uncovering my true self, which was a process of unbecoming all of these things that I never was to become who I truly am. Yeah, that whole journey. It's essentially written as a memoir, but all of the themes in the book walk the reader through all of the things that I did throughout my recovery and what that was like. The hard stuff, the sad stuff, the things that were fun, the things that are funny. I hope that it inspires people when they read it to not feel alone through this chronic illness, because it's not something that everyone understands because it's invisible.
Mm. Wow, it's pretty powerful to be writing a book. I remember when you got the publishing deal and you posted it and you're like, I got a publishing deal, I'm writing a book. And now,
I started writing it when I was still sick. You guys were encouraging us to focus on things that we love to do. So I had been doing a lot of journaling, and I started doing that through the program. And then that turned into these long journal entries. And I was like, I think this should be a book.
wow.
It's really important for me to let people know that recovery is possible, because I know that they're told that it's not, and it's just so not true. And when I'm passionate about things, I am the type of person that wants like the megaphone. This is something that you have to really believe. And I know it's so much easier to take pain medication or just swallow this pill and you want that instant relief. But sometimes you got to just keep walking down that longer path to get to this amazing end result.
Oh my God, I got shivers down my spine and I got tears in my eyes. Yeah, that's just as important for me. Exactly what you're saying is kind of what has spurred my journey on for 17 years now.
Yeah.
And to see people like you go through our program and then go and take the torch and share it with more people is just, that's what this is all about. We're so proud to have you as a member and someone who's been through our program and is now just taking your own unique experience and sharing that with the world to inspire more people. And ultimately, that's really all that matters, is the ripple effect. Like you said, it's important for you and me as individuals and everybody else, but there's a bigger game here. And yeah, it's just so great to see you part of it. And I really appreciate you doing it.
I think your program is so much more than just recovering from CFS. It's a lot more than that. It's becoming like the best version of yourself, really. So that's the work you're doing. Yeah, you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I say that to everyone. This program is a life program. It's not a recovery program. You know, it's about getting your life back. And yeah, it's just so great. What did you love about the program the most? Was it the group coaching calls? Was it the group just being able to chat to other members? Was it the safety that came with just watching the modules at your own pace? What did you love about the program?
So I loved that you allow people to go at their own speed. I mean, for me, I would just listen to the videos, and then whatever I resonated with the most, I would kind of follow through with that. And then knowing that I had this support and this community around me, whether it was the physical aspect of it or the mental, I could just be myself and ask questions and anything that I needed at any time was right at my fingertips.
Mm.
It was definitely like a strong community feeling, but it was also supportive and safe.
Mm.
That was at that time exactly what I needed.
Mm. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. That's cool. One thing I do have to commend you on, and there seems to be a common theme with people, is your consistency at showing up. Like, I remember almost every week you were on a call. Sometimes you were just in the background, just taking notes and chilling out and sipping tea. And then other times you were at the forefront asking a question or getting coaching. And it was really powerful. For people who have never experienced group coaching, how powerful was that for you to be in that experience?
It was very powerful because even if you're intimidated by that, there's always someone on that call that you're going to learn something from.
Yeah.
And even if they say something that you weren't going to bring up or weren't going to talk about or weren't even thinking of, there was always something that someone said that I was able to learn from.
Mm.
And then there's just the aspect of it that you don't feel alone, because in the beginning it just felt so lonely, because everyone in my life was just going about their day to day, feeling good, running around, running errands. They didn't need to disrupt or stop their entire life. So when you suddenly are with these other people and start talking about it, it's becomes very therapeutic,
Mm.
which I think helps you heal.
Yeah, 100%. Was the investment worth it for you?
Oh, hands down. To be honest, I started getting clear around my financial goals when I left the program, but throughout the program, I didn't even think about the financial commitment, because to me, when it comes to my health, totally worth it.
It was an
100%.
investment. Yeah, it was an investment.
Yeah.
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 And you were making the most of it as well, which is important. Man, so I feel like we could talk for ages together. I feel like we just scratched the surface as well, especially with I know what you've been through and kind of what you've learnt, and probably a lot of it's in the book as well, which is cool. Lauren, there's people watching at the moment and they're stuck, they're lost, they're feeling alone. What would you like, just some last words to them as inspiration or some guidance just from someone who's been through it themselves?
Whew. Okay, without getting teary-eyed, I always get the most emotional when I talk to you guys about this stuff. I'm going to think back to when I was in that position. And if someone had just come to me and said to forget about everything, you have to clear your brain. I know that it's hard to do, but you have to stop focusing every morning when you wake up on scanning your body and figuring out what's wrong. You have to instead wake up and say, I'm breathing. I woke up. I'm alive. There are parts of your body that probably feel good, so focus on that. And then if you could just do one thing today or tomorrow that you didn't do the day before, even if it's just like walking 2 extra steps, even if you just do that, like that's a win. And then the next day you're going to do a little bit more. And then you might stay the same for a month, and who cares, because you're still getting better. And then eventually it just all adds up. But just quiet your mind.
You should be a coach. I think you'll end up coaching for us one day, maybe, who knows? But managing, progressing. It's exactly what you said. It's not about progress all the time. It's about progress and then maintain it. And then maintain it. And then that will become the new normal. And then we go to the next level. And you've done that in your life, Lauren. You're living again. And, you're just doing great things. And I think the work that you do with the Feng Shui and decorating and environment is actually so important. And I know how passionate you are about it and how good you are at it. And I think there's so much potential for people to get help from you there. Just want to say thank you on behalf of the community.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It sounds so simple. You made everything so simple.
Yeah, well, when you're going through something complex, the last thing you need is complex. You need simplicity. And so to break it down to practical, simple steps is really the key, because we don't need to overcomplicate it.
Yeah. But I have so much gratitude for you and Gemma and Erin and Dr. Olivia and you guys. So much gratitude.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to hopefully meet you one day, bump into each other down at New York, or who knows, maybe you'll come over with your partner to Australia.
Yeah, it's on my vision board.
Great. Oh, you'll love it. Yeah, you'll love it. It's beautiful here. Well, thanks again for doing this interview. It was so great. All right. Thanks, heaps, Lauren. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, I hope this video was really helpful for you. If you haven't already, please hit the like button and feel free to leave a comment. What was your takeaway, your insight from today's video? It's really helpful to actually write your learnings down. We seem to embed it better and it seems to help us move forwards with life. Here are 3 ways we can help you right now whenever you're ready. The first way is make sure you add yourself into our free information recovery group on Facebook. We'll leave a link in the description below. It's a really supportive, encouraging place. There's no negative venting. You can ask questions to other people. There's something like 8,000 people in there right now. And I'm sure by the time you're watching this video, there's even more. So go over there right now. We share success stories. We share our latest free trainings that come to the public. And we always share upcoming information about upgrades inside our program. And also when we offer free webinars or free information nights that can further help you with your own recovery. The second way we can help you, which is one of my favorite, is through all our free trainings. We're going to leave a link in the description with our favorite free trainings that we know can help you start your recovery. Whether that's through our baseline training, which will help you stop pushing and crashing, our 3 stages of recovery to figure out exactly where you're at and know what to do next. Or my favorite, which is our guest panel workshop, which was actually exclusive for our members. It was so damn good that I actually asked them, can we share this to the public? They all said yes, all 5 of them. So thank you, past members. They share their 5 recovery secrets and it's really powerful. There's tears, there's aha moments, there's real key insight and inspiration. And so whether you're a 1 out of 10 and you're really struggling right now, or whether you're further along in your recovery journey and you're integrating back into life, we have you covered. The third way we can help you is through our actual paid online recovery program, the Mentorship Recovery Program. And if you are interested in getting proper help, a holistic comprehensive plan, professional coaching from the best coaches in the world, whether that's with mindset, movement, nutrition, restorative movement, reconditioning, integrating back into life, integrative medicine, baseline, structure, routine, accountability, all things health and life. Feel free to apply for the program today. All you need to do is click on the form, cfshealth.com/form, fill out the short 2 to 3 minute form application, and the team will be in touch with all the details that you need to know about the program via email. So make sure you check your spam folder for all the free trainings. If you've sent through an application, please be patient. My team are real people, okay? They're not robots. So if we don't get back to you within seconds or hours, it's okay. We will get back to you. If you don't hear from the team within 2 to 3 days, that means that it's basically gone to spam or junk and it's gone missing. So please send a follow-up email to the team at info@cfshealth.com. If you have any questions, go check it out. But I would highly recommend adding yourself into the free group right now. Go click on that link in the description. Go download all the free trainings. Honestly, the whole reason why this whole thing started is because when I went through this myself, it was so painful and so excruciating that I didn't want anyone else to have to go through it. And some of these free trainings are so damn valuable. Back then, I would have paid thousands of dollars for. We've had so many comments and emails and posts saying, oh my God, the baseline training was a game changer for me. Toby, I've been doing this now for 3 months and I'm feeling so much better. My symptoms are decreasing. I've got more stamina. I've got more energy. I'm able to do more things. So, you know, whether you're learning from us and consuming our content through our free format, I'm so stoked. Whether that's in our paid program, I don't really care. Either way, all I want to make sure is that you are moving forwards. You are starting to really implement this work. And that's really what it's all about. Once we implement, we make change and we start to move forwards. Sending you a ton of love. Of course, feel free to consume as much of the YouTube videos as you like. There's so many really, really great ones, new and old. Sending you a ton of love, and speak to you very, very soon. All the best for now.